Hi everyone, so in this video I want to talk about writing functions in Python. And a function is basically just a block of code that's going to be used over and over again. So the way we make a function in Python is we write the word def followed by a name for the function. So let's just create a function that prints something. So print hello, that's the name of my function, and this needs to be followed by a pair of parentheses, and we need to add the colon here like we did for the if, else and the loops. So once again, the block of a function is defined by the tab right here. So if I start writing something here, that would be out of the block of this function. So here let's just do print hello world. um, and what I can do now is let's just go here and I can do print hello here, and if I save this, let's name this functions, and if I run this now, it prints hello world. So what we've actually done is given the task of the actual printing to this function right here, and then call that function from here. So another thing that we can do is let's just take, so let's say I want to print not hello world, but I want this to print my name here. So what I can do is within these parentheses I can say name, and then I can just do something like this, um, and here I can now pass my name. So I'll just say Shreyas, and what's going on here is that this string right here is passed into this name, and then it uses the name is a variable that can be used inside of that function. So I've saved it and let's just run it again, and as you can see it prints hello Shreyas this time. So let's try doing something else. Let's just get rid of this and let's just write a function to add two numbers. So I can do def add, and I'll take two numbers n1 and n2, and I'll just say return. So what return does is it returns a value. So in this case I want to return n1 plus n2. So this time this function is not going to print anything. It's just going to return this n1 plus n2, and it's my job to print it out. So what I'll do here is I'll do a print add 1 comma 2, and let's just save this and run it again. So as you can see I got 3 as my output. So another thing that we can actually do here is this will actually make more sense if we make this a subtraction. So this time let's just give a 2 here and a 1 here, so that I get a 1 as a result. So that's what I get. And another thing that I can do, these are actually known as named arguments or keyword arguments, and the word argument or the word parameter is used for these right here. So it's the values that are passed to a function that are called arguments or parameters. So what I can do in named parameters is I can actually just get rid of this, and for now what we did now, when we had this 2 and a 1 here, the order of these arguments mattered because this 2 went into n1 and this 1 went into n2, and we did an n1 minus n2. But what we can also do is something like this: n2 equals let's say 3 and n1 equals 4. So this time even though we've given them in the incorrect order, we've given n2 first, but we've actually mentioned that this is n2. So what happens is we still get a 1 here. So that's what named parameters mean. And I can actually just keep writing lines here, although not after a return. But I could also have done something like n3 is equal to n1 minus n2, and then just written a return n3, and this would have the exact same result. So what you can actually do is try writing a few more functions, and functions can actually also sometimes call themselves. So let's just try writing a factorial function. So we'll write def fact, and we take an n here, the number for which we need to find the factorial. And as you guys know, factorial is actually has a recursive definition, meaning that n factorial can just be written as n into n minus 1 factorial. So what we are going to do is we are just going to check if n is 0, then we just return 1, because 0 factorial is 1. So here let's just, I forgot to add the colon here, let's just return 1. And what we do here is we just say that return n into fact of n minus 1. So let's just try doing this. Let's just see factorial of let's say 4. We already know this is 24. So let's just run this program. So I actually forgot to add a double equals here, and let's just try it now. And again, I haven't printed it out, so let's just add a print here, and let's run this again. And as you can see, we've got 24, which is the correct answer, and we can actually just try giving this some other number, let's say 6, for which I think the answer is 720. So we got that one correct too. So this kind of a function which actually calls itself from within the body, actually if this is confusing to you, this part right here is the actually this part right here is the body of the function. A function which calls itself from within the body of the function is actually called a recursive function, and that's what we've done here. We've made factorial as a recursive function, so functions can do that as well. So I think that's it about functions for now. We'll be revisiting functions later, but for this video I think that's it. See you next time.